Ark Survival Evolved has 6 story maps, and I'm gonna try and beat all of them in 1,000 in-game days. But day 1000 is far, far away right now, as I'm still currently killing lystros on the beaches of the island. And yes, that's the footage you've been watching this whole time, so feel free to click back to the start of the video and give me that sweet, sweet retention. I know that I look pretty drippy in my cloth right now, but it's not gonna do much when a Rex decides to take a bite out of me later. So naturally, I crafted a bow and chose violence by murdering everything in a 100-meter radius. And now that I had a bow, bolas, and some food cooking, I ventured inland a little and came across a level 21 tech parasaur. And we all know what happens next. If you didn't realize what was happening with the beating sound effects, I was taming the parasaur with brute force. Anyways, I crafted myself a new set of hide armor just to get another set out of the green drop. Yes, I just got arced. And after gearing up a little bit more, I started a nomadic journey towards the center of the island. There's raptors in here! 48. Come on. Yes, he went to sleep, So yeah, I got pretty lucky and found a singular raptor that was low enough level that I could knock it out. Now, just to wait for it to tame. Bro, I was taking a drink! So I got chased out of the jungle, but I live. Anyways, I managed to get back to the raptor somehow on foot, and I named him Waffles. And now that I had a mount again, I decided to run up the volcano for just 2 pieces of crystal for a spyglass. Playing Ark and not having a spyglass is like pouring milk in the bowl before the cereal. You just don't do it. Oh my gosh. Can I open this? I then made my way back down the volcano and found a level 150 Pteranodon. But it wasn't meant to be. Oh my god. Are you kidding? Well, it's all good because on the morning of day 3, I found a level 156 Argentavis.
Wait, that's illegal.
No, but actually I just turned my official difficulty override to 6, meaning the max level Dino in my game is now level 180. This is because I've been playing with the max level being 150 for years, and I wanted a change for this series. But the problem now is I don't have a crossbow yet, and taming with a normal bow uses a lot more tranks. Never mind, I still decided to trank out the RG with a normal bow for some reason. Sweet, he's out. While I waited for the RG to tame, I took down a stego for some prime meat and hide along with getting scammed by a green drop with a ring. Now I know my loot quality is only set to 2, but that seems a little ridiculous. Anyways, the RG tamed and I named him Big Bird, but I don't have enough resources to craft the saddle yet. Insert bug killing montage here. Now that I had my RG, I wanted to fly around and get some Explorer notes for some fast XP. Ooh, you know what? Whoa. Pause. You might be thinking,
Wait, that's illegal.
again, but let me explain. The max level for my Ark is level 180. The max level for Tech Dinos is 1.2 times the normal Dino's max level. So this Tech Rex is the highest possible level I could have gotten. I probably had a better chance of winning the lottery than this spawning, but hey, I'm not complaining. Moving on, I got the Explorer note and killed an Alpha Raptor, making my RG stats basically ascend to God level. And now that my RG is pretty good, I obviously wanted to tame that Rex. So I tamed a level 66 Parasaur for easier narco berry farming and proceeded to spam left click on every bush in a mile radius. But that's not all. I made a refining forge, smelted metal, made a smithy, made a metal pickaxe, made 2 crossbows, and enough tranks to knock out half of the island's creatures. Day 5, I crafted all the dinosaur gates I usually need to trap a Rex and set off in the early morning with pouring rain to tame the Tech Rex. And honestly, it wasn't that hard to trap besides my RG's nearly dying. So obviously I shot tranks into the Rex until it fell asleep, and its stats were kind of underwhelming. But you never know, it could come out amazing when it's tamed. In the meantime, however, I killed another Alpha Raptor, got scammed by a purple drop with a ring, and knocked out a level 174 PT. Don't get too excited, it died quickly after I knocked it out. Oh hey, the Rex is tamed. And I came to the conclusion that the stats were good, but not too good for its level, if that makes any sense. Now that I had an overpowered Rex, I needed to be able to afford the saddle for it. So I spent some time farming metal and also tamed a Dilo next to my base for whatever reason. Okay. Anyways, I flew out to a yellow drop I saw and got some insultingly crappy loot, and by the time I returned to my base, I could craft a Rex saddle. And I did. I then went out and killed everything in sight for levels, and my Rex got so strong that I would put money on my Rex being able to single-handedly take down the Gamma Megapithecus. I also got some decent metal tools from killing alphas, and crafted a primitive set of flak at the end of the day. Day 7 started with some good old metal farming, and now with some metal smelting, I decided to take some time to explore the island and look for a new potential base location. Ooh, Alpha Rex. And I will indeed come back to fight that Rex later. Anyways, I did some more base location scouting and, foreshadowing. And when I returned back to my base, there was a level 102 Ankylospectrally begging to be tamed, so obviously I was very generous and peacefully made him mine. Oh, 168, we're taming that sometime. Day 8, I was streaming as I do once every 7 months, and I was tasked with taming a dodo. I named him John and returned back to base. And if you're watching intently in the middle montage, I looted some beaver dams, but if you didn't, feel free to scroll back and watch again. Anyways, I was mass farming cementing paste for the wooden tree platform because I was planning to build in the redwoods.
You stupid!
So after farming some wood, I crafted a tree platform and placed it out by the lake in the redwood. Now that I have a giant platform, I don't want to spend another second living on this 1x1 thatch foundation. So I spent the morning farming all the necessities, forges, smithies, a boomstick, all the fun stuff. And later on, it was moving time, so I whistled follow all of my gang and slowly waddled my way across the redwoods. I say slowly because the Ankylo had a top speed of 6 miles an hour. Later on, when I arrived, I started to set up my smithies and forges, and I wasn't going to build one of the super elaborate tree houses. I'm a simple man, and toughing it in the outdoors is fine by me. And at the end of the day, I farmed some wood to fill the forges for a metal run I was soon to do. Speaking of that metal run, I'm doing it. And this metal run was quite thick, as my RG could carry almost 3,000 pounds. Anyways, I got the metal smelting and went back to the Redwoods Mountain for some crystal, and then back to base so I crafted some storage boxes. What are you doing? Oh, wait. Whoa! So when the Pteranodon landed, I knocked him out. The bird actually ended up taming before the end of day 10, but I didn't have enough resources to craft its saddle just yet. Day 11, I started crafting some campfires because my food supply was starting to dwindle, and you know, your boys gotta eat. And later on, me and my Rex were moving ourselves out of the redwoods back near the Metal Mountain to fight that Alpha Rex. I wasn't really concerned with losing the fight because I knew my Rex was strong, but not this strong. My Rex was doing 800 damage a bite. Someone please take me up on that bet. Well, after that ridiculously easy fight, I dropped my loot at base and took off with my RG towards the snow for oil. I was already tired of not having cryopods, and oil would just be super useful later on. Well, it's an alpha. Don't I have to kill this? So yeah, I got the freest alpha kill in my life and got myself a cool new hat, and before returning home I told myself, hey, I'm already in the snow, might as well farm some polymer. This will soon go on to be one of the worst decisions I have ever made. Day 12, I say that because there was also a UD at the penguin spawns, and if you don't know, UDs and RGs don't mix well. It was also nighttime and I was in the snow without enough fur armor, so I had to place campfires and sleeping bags because I was already dying from cold alone. Anyways, after my first death in this series, the UD lay dead and I was dead inside. I then gathered my well-deserved organic polymer peacefully and crafted 6 cryopods on the way back to base. And once I returned back to base, I gathered pretty much all of my resources and took them out to the green obelisk to invest in more cryopods. And just like that, day 12 came to a peaceful... Oh my... As I was saying, day 12 then came to a peaceful... Oh my god. Oh, that's game. We're dead. Rip. Screw this game. Well, day 13 and time to get my stuff back. I tried to get it naked once with my PT, but it didn't go so well. So I took my Rex over to Thyla and made quick work of it. And now that half of my day was taken with me having to get my stuff back, I decided to stay a little bit closer to the base and do some farming. I finally made a fabricator and then farmed a bunch of wood for my forges, and I was already tired of these little dinky forges, so I wanted the big one. I had almost all the resources, so it was just the cementing paste that was hindering me. Since I can't find any cementing paste in beaver dams right now, I shifted my focus towards a frog. Frogs, commonly known as Bisobufos, harvest cementing paste when they kill bugs, and I live right next to the swamp cave, aka Bug Central. So I farmed narcotics and a 1x1 trap and spent 17 years looking for a level above 80 and finally found a level 156. 156, we're taking it, and frogs are fairly easy to trap and tame. If you're good at the game, that is. Bruh. The frog tame, and I spent a few minutes leveling up before returning to base, crafting scuba and committing mass genocide against the swamp cave's bug population. Day 15. Hey. Dude, where is day 15? Well, from the looks of it, on day 15, I got enough cementing paste and obsidian for the 400 polymer I needed to craft the industrial forge. Alright. And now that I had the forge, I felt accomplished in life, so I decided to tame the level 168 Megatherium I saw earlier. How those two clauses relate, I have no idea. The Megatherium stats came out okay, I guess. I named them Sid and returned to my base. And then I proceeded to farm an ungodly amount of cementing paste. Why? I don't know, it's fun. Day 17, I was still in the swamp cave with my frog, and I got an insane crossbow from a cave drop. Oh, that's a good crossbow. But later on, I was still in the taming mood, so I crowded my Rex to rid this arc of any bad level dino species I wanted to tame. Mainly Rexes. I didn't really find any, but I did kill 2 Alpha Rexes. I was still looking for Rexes on day 18, but I got kinda bored and decided to go get the artifact of the Devourer. You know, for fun. Oh, bro. Have you ever got bored of playing dinosaurs like me? Well, I've got just the thing for you, my fellow keyboard warriors. War Thunder is the most comprehensive vehicle combat game ever. War Thunder has over 2,000 tanks, planes, helicopters, and ships to help you take down your enemies. And the game is incredibly detailed with their individual components and highly immersive combat experience. But War Thunder isn't just for keyboards. You can now play War Thunder on the Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation, and PC. And the vehicles in War Thunder span over 100 years of development, so you can take down your enemies in an old plane from the 1920s or basically a flying Grim Reaper. And you can also eliminate your enemies in 4K with amazing sound effects and insane graphic detail. But my favorite element of War Thunder is the sheer amount of vehicles in battle. There's almost never a dull moment. So head down to the link in the description or the pinned comment and download War Thunder using my link and gain a large free bonus packs for PC, PlayStation, or Xbox. And this works for new and existing users. Day 19, and now that I'm starting to breed a boss killing army, I think it's time to become a little more civilized. So I crafted a generator and lamppost so I wasn't in eternal darkness all night. And later on I decided to go in search of Rexes again and found my 7,000th Alpha Rex. Seriously, aren't these supposed to be rare? Anyways, I spent a little bit more time at Corner Island with no luck, but then I flew back to the mainland and found a level 168 male Rex. Now for all you Ark newbies, you can't breed a Tech Rex and a normal Rex together. So this Rex is really good, but I want to find a male Tech Rex to breed with my already existing Rex. So maybe if I find another high level female Rex, I'll come back and tame this. A female 168 and we found a male 168. Okay, I guess I have to tame it now. Day 20, I started knocking out the female Rex and my new crossbow made it much quicker. And while the Rex was unconscious taming, I flew up and down the rivers looking into the forest for Therazinos to tame. I didn't find any good ones, but before I knew it, the Rex was tamed, and the health was pretty mid, but she had pretty good melee. I then flew back to my base and quickly gathered more resources for another tree flatworm to keep more dinos. And to end off day 20, I spent refarming more taming supplies to go tame the male level 168 Rex. Day 21 is time to go tame that other Rex and get the breeding line going. And on the way to the North Mountain, I got an apprentice frog saddle. But once I actually got to the mountain, I couldn't find a Rex. And dinos don't despawn in single players, so it had to be somewhere. So then ensued a 15-minute search looking for the Rex, but I found it just down on the beach. Bruh. I named the Rex Snowman, and his health was genuinely insane. His melee was awful, but it's fine because the female's melee was good, but holy, he has 1,000 more health points than the Tech Rex that I tamed at level over 300. Day 22, I returned back to base with my new Rex and started breeding them. I have to get both the good health and melee on the same baby Rex, and that could take a while. And while the Rexes were going at it, I farmed up and placed another wooden tree platform just under my first one. This one would be for baby hatching and raising. I then made a generator and enough air conditioners to hatch a small army, and voila, it works. And while the Rex egg was incubating, I noticed an Alpha Raptor underneath my base. And it should have been a pretty easy kill, but my Rex actually did almost die.
Oh no!
What the? I'm stuck! Oh, I'm getting hit. I can't. This is not good. Okay, my Rex can turn around and hit him. Oh, I got a mutation! The first one! So, if you couldn't tell by the Rex colors and the happy grunt noises, the baby Rex hatched out with a health mutation. My luck is insane. And I did a coin flip to see if I should imprint the baby because you usually don't want to imprint your breeder, but I really wanted to see what the imprint stats would look like. We keep the stats, we just make it a breeder, his tails, imprint his heads. Tails. Oh, looks like we're imprinting. And let's just say, I'm gonna have a good boss killing army. Day 23, I connected the top tree platform with my main one, and then I went on a search for either Theries or a Megatherium to tame. And I found a level 144 Thery towards the end of the day. For those who were watching day 24 live, you guys know today was a pain. I knocked out the Thery and decided to keep flying around while I was taming, and I found a level 18 Dodic I wanted to tame. So I knocked it out, and then remembered Theries need narcotics when they're taming or they're gonna wake up really fast. Oh my gosh, I forgot Theries wake up super fast. We gotta go back. So then ensued a frantic fly back to the Thery, hoping it wouldn't wake up before I got back. And luckily it didn't, but I had to sit there gathering and force feeding the Thery narco berries to keep it asleep. Ark can be a fun game, but most of the time it's stressful. I logged back in on day 25 because I needed to take a break because of day 24. Anyways, I was flying back to my base when the first Thery I see is a level 162. It's not like I dedicated a whole stream just a day prior to look for these guys. So I went back to base, recrafted all the taming supplies I would need to properly tame a Thery, and flew back out getting a pretty good flat gauntlet blueprint in the process. And if you have all the supplies you need, taming a Thery really isn't that bad. The Thery was still taming about halfway through the day on day 26 when I spotted a level 144 Megatherium. And my trap wasn't too far, so it looks like I'm spending more time out here. Anyways, the Thery tamed and its stats came out pretty mid, but I now have 2 females, and that just doesn't work. And later on, I got the Megatherium in the trap and started taming it. Day 27, the Megatherium tamed in the early morning, but its stats were kinda shit. But it's okay, because if the Megatheriums are too bad, I might be able to use Rexes to kill the broodmother, since mine will be godlike. And speaking of Rexes, I got the new male breeding and crafted a fridge, and oh my god, my luck is insane. Speaking of insane, I was making vaults in PvE mode. Anyways, I did some farming and my first baby Megatherium was born. The stats were less than pleasing, so I quickly executed it. Day 28, I was out by the volcano and surrounding mountains farming metal because I was basically all out of it after crafting just 3 vaults. Day 29 started off great. Oh my god. But what I was actually doing flying around the redwoods, I was looking for a Thyla to tame. Thylas are really good for caving and they do way too much damage. And later on I found a level 114 and trapped it. Anyways, the Thyla tamed and I gave it an interesting name. And Thylas are one of my favorite tames, so I took it for a spin, getting the artifact of the pack in the process. And honestly, I've played this game for so long and caves aren't really a challenge anymore. I can't really remember the last time I died in a cave. Cold. Oh, okay. Okay, Day 30 I had to walk myself home because I came to the cave on a Thyla and I didn't bring a cryopotted bird stupidly. And when I got back to base, I set my sights on making troughs to feed my baby Rexes I was about to hatch. I killed some local plebs for their meat and then hatched 5 baby Rexes. And I didn't really know what to name them, so I just started naming them after ARC YouTubers. And I spent the rest of the day at the base raising the Rexes because I did not want to miss any imprints on them. On day 31, I had 3 Rexes basically glitched off the tree platform so they would drop their fertilized eggs where I could easily see them and then gather them.
Sometimes my genius is... it's almost frightening.
Anyways, I farmed some more meat and crafted an industrial grill to keep myself fed. And later on, I found myself in the swamp cave trying to gather more cementing paste, but that trip was short-lived. So instead I placed pipes from the river below to my base running up to my main platform. I needed to have it later on to have the industrial cooker, crop plots, and water's just kind of nice to have. Day 32 I crafted said industrial cooker and looked what I needed to craft a chemistry bench. One of the things was polymers, and you need cementing paste to craft polymers, so back into swamp cave I go with a new set of scuba. And this trip went a lot better as I got a lot of paste and brought my Megatherium with me, so I was able to grab the artifact of the immune while I was at it. And with the remainder of day 32 I spent it out the volcano farming obsidian because that is what you need for the other half of polymer. On the way back from the volcano on day 33 I got an apprentice sword from a yellow drop and immaculate loot from a red drop. Oh, I get it. We get the Rex Saddle blueprint. But I did craft the Thyla saddle when I turned to base, and the rest of day 33 and 34 was spent being a single father to an army of baby killing machines. Day 35 was almost all spent baby raising as well, but I decided to go out and lower the local tech dino population because that was a pretty easy way to farm electronics. And I needed these electronics for the chemistry bench, which I crafted. And it's nice to know I can now craft drugs and become a drug lord like this man, or just tame dinosaurs with them. While I had some baby Megatheriums raising on day 36, I knocked out and tamed a level 54 Bronto for easier berry farming. And business was going to be good with this type of production. Day 37, I was doing all this farming for crop plots to fund my veggie cake business. I then crafted myself a pooper and took one too many laxative to fuel my crops. And before the end of the day, I tamed myself an itchy because it's about time I go underwater. And with my itchy, I went back to basic craft scuba, then returned to the ocean to go underwater. More specifically, the easy underwater cave. Well, oh Lord. Oh. I managed to get my stuff back and some silica pearls in the process, and the glitch I use is just called the grapple glitch, so look it up if you somehow find yourself in a similar situation. I got back to my base on day 39 and quickly returned to fueling my crop plots. I then crafted 8 tree sap taps and put them around my tree because you need sap for veggie cakes. And speaking of trees, I made another tree platform. Day 40 I was just lining up and leveling Rexes, and it wasn't that entertaining, so here's a picture of my cat instead. I had a few good female Megatheriums on day 41, so I would soon have an army of giant sloths. And later on, I collected some sap that I had gathered and farmed some flint and stone for spark powder. And by the time I returned to my base, there was a few little baby Megatherium babies waiting to be claimed. And I closed out day 41 with crafting stimulants for veggie cakes, cooking medical brews, and imprinting the Megatheriums. That batch of Megatheriums were fully raised and imprinted by day 42, and I thought it was about time to start power leveling my dinos. So I flew around the island's beaches and eventually found a Leister to tame because they give double experience boost to dinos. And on the way back to my base, I spotted some little monkeys and just had to tame one. Anyways, I returned to my base and threw the Leister out of the cryopod and started incubating some Rex eggs. I bet you can tell where this is going. It may get me sent to hell, but killing babies gives great experience for my Rexes. I was still leveling my Rexes into the early morning of day 43, but all that changed when I spotted a purple drop. Man, I love getting garbage loot from drops. I was really starting to look out for more more drops because I was going to need a saddle blueprint very soon. I've now just leveled about all of my boss rexes so I can do the Megapithecus boss pretty soon. That is, if I get all the necessary tributes. So I crafted some trank arrows for one of the dinos I needed and set out. I mainly took down Spinos for the majority of the day, but I did tame an otter. Yes! Hipper! Hipper, where are you? The first half of day 44 was spent taking down the last few Spinos I needed. I then returned to my base to drop the Spino cells off before grabbing my Thyla and setting out for the Hunter Cave. Megalania spawned in the Hunter Cave, and I just so happened to need 10 other toxin to start the boss fight. But there was only one in the cave, and they each dropped 2 unkilled, so I either needed more Megalania or the trank arrows, which I had. So you see, Megalanias will all wake up with 2 more toxin when knocked out, so I proceeded to knock out and take the toxin out of the same Megalania multiple times. I was finishing up in the Hunter Cave in the morning of day 45, and after that I took my Thyla out to the ocean and somehow managed to kill 2 Megalodons for the teeth because that was the last tribute I needed. Now I had all the artifacts and tributes I needed, including the artifact with the brute, which I got in the easy underwater cave. I guess I just forgot to show it. But anyways, I spent the rest of the day farming for primitive Rex saddles since I'm pretty confident my Rexes will be strong enough to take down the Megapithecus without good saddles. There's only one more thing I'm missing to fight the Megapithecus now, and that is a Ute. So I made a basic trap and set out towards the snow in search of one, and I did 2 full laps around the snow, but everything I saw was garbage, so I eventually found a level 90 and said screw it, I'll tame it. I couldn't get the Ute in the trap to tame it, but since I'm an absolute master at this game, I managed to tame it in the wild. Oh, he's drowning. He's drowning for sure. Oh my god. I was waiting for my Ute to tame on day 47 when I got into a bit of a scuffle, but don't worry, I've got everything under control. But later on, the Ute tamed and I flew back to my base, and when I returned, I made the Ute a saddle and obviously power leveled it. So now that I have everything I need, I think it's about time that I go fight the boss. But one problem, I decided that I wouldn't enable PvE mode in the series that gets rid of cryopod timers, so I can either wait 17 years to throw out each Rex at the obelisk or walk them all the way to the obelisk. And I stupidly chose the second option. Day 49, I had all my Rexes successfully at the obelisk, and I came back to get the artifacts and tributes, which I stupidly forgot. I grabbed what I needed and flew back out to the blue obelisk, but I was looking for something, but I couldn't find it. Oh well, I can probably do the boss fight without it, because my Rexes are super strong. Whoa, 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 why is he there? I got a little lower than I would have liked. Oh wait, since we changed the official difficulty override, the bosses are a little bit harder than I remember. So yeah, if you couldn't tell, 1, I lost my Ute on the way and couldn't find it, and 2, the bosses are all harder since the official difficulty override is now 6. This could make the dragon and broodmother way more harder than they already are. Well, at least I have a cool new flag now. Anyways, I crowded up all my Rexes from the obelisk and brought them back to my base. The Megapithecus didn't really go as well as I wanted it to, but I got it done, so it's now time to set my sights on the broodmother. Thus, I raised a few more Megatheriums for the rest of the day. I began day 51 with crafting a few primitive Megatherium saddles. I was gonna start taking my Megatheriums into Swamp Cave to level because it's just as good, if not better, than killing baby Rexes. And not to state the obvious or anything, but clearing out this cave with an imprint and Megatherium is a breeze. And I also got an insane RG saddle while I was at it. Day 52, I decided to do some more splunking, but this time caves I haven't explored yet. I had my Thyla and went out to the artifact of the Clever Cave in the mountains, and this cave is stupid easy. You know what isn't easy? The lava cave. It's more just annoying, if anything, with all the bats and lava. I guess that's kind of the theme of the cave, though. The morning of day 53 wasn't really that noteworthy, but the second half,
Yeah, boy.
I tamed the level 168 Itchy and then started taming the level 168 Basilo. I didn't finish the tame on day 53 because I can go to school, work out, pet my cat, and get a full night's rest between the time of the first feed and the second feed. Day 54, I fully tamed the Basilo and spent the rest of the day just standing around my base. I was probably just watching YouTube or something. Well, day 55 was a lot more productive. First, bringing out my inner beekeeper and stealing the honey from all the local bees. I needed the honey for veggie cakes, and I pretty much had everything else to craft some. I pretty much spent half of the day gathering honey only for 25 veggie cakes. I was back underwater on day 56, this time looking for Tusas to kill for their black pearls because I needed the pearls for a replicator. And in my underwater adventure, I only managed to kill 1 alpha megalodon and 1 Tuso. Oh, it's another one of these. Woohoo! Hey boy. I really need to kill this Alpha Tuso, because they drop a lot of black pearls, tentacles, and I need their eye eventually for the Alpha Overseer. So I healed up my Basilo, who is a beast at this point, and spent the next 20 minutes left clicking the Overside Tuso. And I have now established myself as the Alpha of this ocean. Day 58, I had 4 Megatherium, and I was back in the Swamp Cave leveling them up. And after eliminating all the nuisances, I finally went back looking for a male fairy, and I just so happened to find a level 180 male before the end of the day. Day 59 went just as how you expected to. I kinda just sat around waiting for it to tame, feeding it narcotics every few minutes, and high levels take forever to tame. However, I did get a good flak chestplate blueprint from a drop. The theory tamed basically as soon as the clock struck midnight on day 60. Anyways, I got the theory back and started breeding it with the others. I then farmed a few berries to keep the baby theories I was soon to have fed, and later on I was back in the easy underwater cave looking for supply crates. Each day I was becoming more and more desperate for saddle blueprints. I was still in the easy underwater cave on day 61 looking for loot crates. I didn't find any though, so I returned back to my base and did some theory breeding and killing because the baby didn't have the stats I wanted. But now that the theories are on breeding cooldown, I flew back out to snow because I need a new UD because I lost mine. Day 62 I found a level 174 UD, and that's quite an upgrade from my old UD, so I was really happy. I named the UD Lost because I lost my other one and then returned home. I crafted more grapples on day 63 because I needed more honey for veggie cakes. No! I don't think I've ever gone 100 days without my otter that I always somehow named Kipper dying. Anyways, I managed to get my stuff back and made some more veggie cakes, and I also gave myself a haircut. Day 64, I went back to leveling up my Megatherium in the Swamp Cave. I could use about 4 Megatherium to clear the cave, so it would only take a few trips to fully level the army. And the Swamp Cave also has loot crates, so I do have a chance to get a blueprint I need, but it's very low. And at the end of the day, I finally got some baby theories that had better stats. I was running low on metal again, so I flew out to the metal mountain and, you know, farmed metal. And for the rest of the day, I was back working with my theories. I was out in the volcano in the morning of day 66 farming crystals specifically for a tech replicator. But I still need more black pearls to craft the replicator, so you guessed it, I had to go underwater again. And I actually managed to take down 2 Tusos in the same Alpha Mosasaur 3 times. Because the first 2 times, my power shut off because my PC was drawing too much power. I returned to my base on day 67 with all my loot and kinda just sat around waiting for my metal to smelt so I could actually craft the replicator. Day 68 and I just realized I haven't done a montage yet. Well, sit back, relax while I play Ark and get arced. What about that? Day 73, I decided I was going to fight the Beta Broodmother. I made a bunch of primitive Megatherium saddles because I was pretty confident in my army, just not confident enough to do Alpha yet. Anyways, I started to deliver my Megatheriums to the Obelisk Cryosects because there's no way I was going to walk them. Raw. I had about all the tributes, except I needed a few Sarker skins, so I killed a few of the crocs, and then grabbed all that I needed for the boss and set out towards the green obelisk. My Megatheriums were almost all awake by the morning of day 74, and I had a plan for this boss fight. I was only going to give half of my Megatheriums veggie cakes as sort of an experiment to see how they hold up against the ones with no cakes. And once my army was all awake, I started the beta boss fight. The boss fight was going well, but I tried to switch out half of my Megatheriums mid-fight, but it didn't work, so I just ended up going balls deep. Now, back to these guys. Alright, is the switch gonna work? Oh, no, it didn't. Okay, let's just put it back on neutral. I only lost 1 Megatherium during the fight, but a few others had pretty low health. But I think if we get some better saddles and veggie cakes, Alpha should be pretty easy. Oh my god, I saw it coming from a mile away. Day 75 and 76 I'm gonna group together because I just spent it raising baby theories and leveling them. And also, did I mention I found my old UD? Turns out it got stuck right under my base in some ruins, and it took me like 20 days to notice this for some reason. I was still raising theories into the morning of day 77, but I decided to grow a pair and go into the ice cave. I needed the artifact that is strong that is in the ice cave, and also some drops to have a chance of spawning in there, so I have a chance to get a saddle blueprint. Well, that cave exploration took longer than I thought it would because it's now day 78. But for the rest of day 78, I made some medical brews and ran the easy underwater cave. Day 79 and 80 would be one of the last days I spent baby raising and leveling. But a peculiar thing started to happen when I'd eliminate the baby Rexes for levels. My boss dinos would all somehow magically switch their aggression settings from passive to attack target, aka the babies. Oh, hey man! And this happened 3 times in 2 days. And the amount of rage this brought me is immeasurable. No, not again! Days 81 and 82 I'm also going to group together because I just spent them regathering the artifacts I need for the Alpha Brood Mother. The artifacts are the Clever, Hunter, and Massive, just like your mom. I pretty much come to the conclusion that I won't be able to defeat the Dragon and Overseer in this 100 days, so you guys can get excited for 200 days, dropping by at least 2040. And I also got some Immaculate Gauntlets from a yellow drop with a ring. Day 83 I started building gates around my breeding platform. My Theries and Megatheriums would now target anything within a mile radius, and that means they would fall off a lot. Day 84 I finished the gates surrounding the platform and went back to leveling Theries. Oh no, they're mine! You know how I said I was getting pretty desperate for a saddle blueprint, especially a Megatherium saddle blueprint? Yeah, watch this. Day 94, I first delivered my Megatheriums back to the Green Obelisk so they would have a little time to wake up. And then I returned back to my base and grabbed all the artifacts, a UD, and a Rex. I don't know why I didn't do this all in one trip. Days 95 through 97, I did the thing. Day 98, and I was pretty much ready for the boss. I had crafted a lot of veggie cakes in between that drop hunting montage. I was trying to plan ahead for my next 100 days and get a beehive to produce me some passive honey, but I couldn't get the bee to come out of the hive when I broke it. I was probably just doing it wrong. Day 99, and
time to nut up or shut up.
About half of my Megatheriums had 10 veggie cakes, and my plan was to whistle half of them on the front side of the brood mother and then walk the other half around to its back side so it's getting hit from all sides. Come on, guys. No. The boss fight wasn't going too great. I was losing a few Megatherium every minute. So I decided to put my UD on auto courage roar and go in with my Rex to get that extra damage. And it was about this time I accidentally muted my mic. But just know I was screaming for encouragement and from fear. Well, that was the most stressful thing I've ever done in my life. Besides editing this video, I did this whole thing in 1 week. I love procrastinating. Day 100. Bye. Once again, thank you to War Thunder for sponsoring this video. Make sure to go check out War Thunder in the link in the description or the pinned comment and gain a large free bonus pack on PC, PlayStation, or Xbox. Do it. Or no more chubby pics in my videos. Once again, head to the link in the description and download War Thunder today.